The 2020 Road to the Kentucky Oaks continues, and this time let's take a look back at Saturday's action, going down to the fairgrounds and watching the Rachel Alexandra Stakes, and it was Finite picking up the victory, defeating the juvenile 2-year-old champion filly British Idiom, and Tempers Rising and Ursula were far back from Finite, who made it 4 in a row with an impressive victory at the fairgrounds. Let's take a look at how the race was won. Of course, British Idiom was the favorite, with Finite the second favorite. And out of the gate, it was His Glory setting a stronger pace and a more aggressive pace than we saw a few weeks back at the fairgrounds. And what this meant was that Ursula, who the last time set the pace and kind of begrudgingly lost in the final strides to Finite, this time she was in the role of a pace tracker and she didn't run as well. I think Ursula is the type who needs to be on the lead and aggressively ridden out of the gate, but with His Glory drawing the one post, that was probably the most optimum strategy for the jockey on His Glory, to try to get out of the gate, set the pace, kind of discourage Ursula, and just see if Finite wanted to go a little bit farther, and also to see what British Idiom was like off the bench. Meanwhile, it was Finite sitting in third place for the first quarter of a mile. She got a 3-wide trip, and what was nice about this race, similar to the last race when she ran a little bit wide that day, she kind of just relaxed down the backstride. Her head was always cocked and ready to roll, and really was kind of just waiting for the instructions and the cue from the jockey in this race. And then on the turn, when His Glory kind of came out with the lead into the stretch, Finite was right there, attacked midway down the stretch, and went on to the 2-length victory. His Glory, after setting a strong pace, she kind of faded back. Meanwhile, British Idiom, who was wide on the backstretch, wide into the turn, she kind of just plodded along a little bit. I'm not sure she was totally cranked for this race, although as I mentioned in the preview video, I'm not expecting a strong 3-year-old campaign from British Idiom. I think she definitely was a win early type and was kind of gutted in that juvenile fillies race. That was a demanding racetrack, and she ran back-to-back races that were really demanding, and we'll see if she can get back to that top form as a 3-year-old. So right now, Finite goes to one of the top 4 contenders for the 2020 Kentucky Oaks. Of course, the big news the last couple of days was Therese, who had sparked some Triple Crown hopes with her big victory. She was 3 for 3. She had defeated Ursula by 10 lengths and then came back and won the was pointing towards the Honeybee after winning the Martha Washington Stakes. She was injured in a workout and was put down, so Therese is 3 lifetime starts, 3 victories. Again, she was a good one. There were some people that were tempering the enthusiasm a little bit, but boy, physically, just a big Amazon-type filly, and it makes you wonder with all of that weight that she was carrying, if that contributed to the injury. But injuries happen in horse racing, and we will move on. Therese, 3 for 3 lifetime, and now British Idiom. We'll see if she can pick it up in her second start of the year. Lots of options. They're considering maybe waiting for the Ashland for her next start. Finite, with those points, she can kind of dictate what she wants to do. Possibly Oaklawn, maybe wait for the Ashland, or maybe even possibly point for some other race along the Oaks Trail for trainer Steve Asmussen. Donna Veloci made it back to the workout tab last week. She's pointing for the Santa Anita Oaks. Will she match up against Bast and possibly Venetian Harbor, the big victory of the Las Virgenes? And we also have May Dean, who last out disappointed in her final start as a 2-year-old, but her first 2 races were pretty electrifying at Aqueduct and Belmont. May Dean, I think we may see her in the Gulfstream Park Oaks coming up in late March. So that's a look at the Oaks and the current top contenders, and we'll also take a look at Finite to see where she goes next. That's coming up. Who did you like in the Rachel Alexandra? Were you impressed with British Idiom? Do you think she can improve? And what about Finite? Do you think she's a top 3 Oaks contender at this point? Share this video, leave a note, and also a comment below. Hit subscribe and smash that like button as we lead you up to the 2020 Kentucky Oaks.